1, 3, 2, 1. Sniff, and I am with a person. Would you believe it if it's true? It is a Shadolance, and I definitely want to commentate towards this person with a message. I want to say I do not agree with some of the things that you've said on your commentary regarding my commentary, and therefore we must speak. Are you okay with that?
Lance appears.
Oh, well, Shadowlands appears. Yeah.
You spit. No, I'm kidding.
No! Ground attack's my one weakness.
Okay, so you got some beef with me. What's the
Yeah,
beef?
I've got beef with you, bro. On my commentary, man. My commentary, I said, you know, technical art is a thingy thing, and I'll link that in the description. And you said another thingy thing about my technical art, and at the end, and I agreed with most of it, but at the end you said that, you know, art shouldn't be about the money, and I think that is a complete silliness. I think that art is about the money, even to a small degree, and I would say it's because art is all about recognition. Now, how you go about getting that recognition is up to you, whether it be through social recognition, whether it be through pride in your work recognition, or whether it be through monetary recognition. If you're getting money for something, you have an actual physical way of saying, people like this, people like what I'm doing.
Well, the way I would say it is, it's not so much. I mean, yes, I do completely endorse like going and having fun and enjoying what you're doing and getting known for that. I don't have any problem with making money on the side. It's when the entire reason you're doing it is for the purpose of making money, and it either prohibits you from having fun or producing the same quality of artwork. I'm not saying that a person who makes money can't make money doing it. Sorry, that doesn't make sense. Who makes money can't do a good job doing it. But it's the same true for people like even painters and music artists. If they're just in it for the sole purpose of money, their heart's not going to be in it.
I would still argue with that, because my heart goes into a lot of my videos, and would you believe it that I'm in it for the money? Now, some of the people may be asking, you know, you're giving away money, how do you expect it back? I have my ways, don't you worry, but the whole idea is to actually make money from YouTube. And is it hard sometimes? Absolutely. I think art shouldn't be just fun. I think suffering and learning is involved in art. I mean, if you just make it all about fun and carefree and having and enjoying it all the time, then you're not going to be able to have that emotion of, you know, having a breakthrough and going, oh my god, this is how you really do it. This, you know, wow, you know, this makes it so much easier. This makes it so much more there.
Okay, now here's a question for you. Like, the thing is, do you have fun making your videos, though? Do you enjoy making the videos for the purpose of making the video?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes, no. Sometimes it's neutral. I mean, there are some videos which I enjoy more than other videos.
I think it's not negative for the most part, is it?
No.
Okay, well that's part of my point. If you're having fun doing it and it's your hobby, then making money is the side point. While you may want to earn money because of your hobby, would you still do it if you weren't getting paid? Not necessarily the giveaway part, but the making videos part and being a YouTuber. Would you still do that if you weren't getting paid?
I wouldn't know. Because the whole idea, I mean, I love the community, yes, but the idea, the promise, the challenge of making money in new and interesting ways is very... It's the core reason why I start doing things. Now, will I... Let's say I get a copyright strike and, you know, I can't ever be a partner. Like, some permanent copyright strike on something. I don't know, maybe my intro is copyrighted or something. I don't know if I would continue YouTube, because...
Well, that's such a downer, I agree.
The whole idea of doing YouTube is building upon itself, using its own money to further yourself, but putting the partnership money back into it. And that, at a business stance, is what I like about YouTube. I like the promise of growth. I like the idea of making yourself known, and by doing that, getting money.
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's a great idea when you can. Business itself is an art form, I would argue. Business is an art if you can. You're working for a goal. And what I was more pushing at, and I didn't want to. I wanted to kind of beat around the bush a little bit to see if I could get it out of you. And I think what you answered the way I was expecting you to, which is good. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Is that you see making money as an art form in its own. It's a goal for you. Making money is a drive to do better at something that you are already doing well at. It's a goal.
Absolutely.
So that's what you see it as more. So I think the point I was trying to make was that if you don't really even, it's kind of like going for a job, like in some other, it doesn't matter what field. If you're going for a job for the sole purpose of making millions, but you don't enjoy the job, in fact, you actually dislike the job, like it goes beyond not enjoying it, and it can ruin your life because of that. If it's when you would do something for money or do something for another purpose, whether it's money or not, and it affects the other parts of your life in a negative way, that's when I think making money as an art form would be bad. An art is something that's practiced, is the best way I would put it.
And I might still be there to disagree, because I think in a lot of times artists do things that they don't like just for the sole purpose of being able to express themselves in, negative ways. I mean, not everyone does good, happy, shiny work or things that they like. Like, for instance, I know my sister's an artist, and she's constantly into depression, part because of other external issues, but part because her art revolves around her being in a depressive state.
Well, if that's also, I'd say art is also partially the expression of the artist, and if that's part of your expression, that's different than that's you affecting your art and your art affecting you. But if it's only your art affecting you in a negative way, that can be a bad thing. That's what I was pushing at. If it sounds like she's probably working from both dimensions, which is great. If you can, that's called getting involved with your art. If it's just you with your art, if it's just you affecting your art, that's just taking input from other people and changing things, and that's not perfecting your art form. An art form, I want to rephrase what I said earlier. An art form is something to be practiced. I think it's something to be practiced and improved upon.
Improved, I would agree. I would also, magical, argue that that you should be able to take outside criticism as well to improve your art. I mean, half of the reason why I do anything on YouTube, or at least got better on it, was because someone was telling me there's a problem somewhere. Or, I didn't notice something, but there was a issue that a lot of people just didn't like, and, it may be subtle things, but they may still be there. Not everything art is, I think very static, very stationary. I think you should be able to evolve with your art as much as the people go around it. I guess simplifying, you should be able to change your art, but you shouldn't have the art change you.
I think that I can agree on. I think that's a good point. I did have some follow-up questions, since it looks like we've reached an agreement for the most part, and at least
okay.
some things.
Okay, on some things, I'll agree with that.
On some things, we can't. Not everyone's going to be able to agree on all things. I mean,
definition of art.
I can't agree with the fact that San Pellegrino has an orange flavor. I hate the orange flavor. I love the lemon. Like, there's some things we just can't.
What a San Pellegrino is.
Oh my God! Go to the store now and buy one, or get out. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay, bye. Commentary over, not uploading.
Commentary over. I did have a couple of follow-up questions about, and I think this is something both of us can input on. This is a follow-up about combat arms questions. Like, this is out of the artist commentary now, more into the combat arms. What do you think about some of the new releases into combat arms, including everything from the winter sales and on, winter sales being the NX rare sales, and even the epic sales? And then about the free, like, Andromalius weapons and newer NX weapons that everyone can buy, like the G11. Like, what was good about it? What could have been done better, in your opinion?
Right. I think that a lot of people have the wrong idea with Nexon. I think what people think with Nexon is that originally they were this magical company that did a game so well, and then they ruined it. Oh, they ruined it with money. And I would beg that if you look at every previous Nexon game, what they do is they start a game off at its base, and then they find ways to make more money with it. Now, it may start slow, it may go fast, but the entire point of the game is find a way to make money and, abuse the hell out of it. Now, whether abusing the hell out of it is a good or bad thing, I don't really care. I think that they've stuck with that, and they've at least provided content. I mean, some people complain about bugs and stuff, but that's not quite as easy to fix, especially with 4 years of updates. If a bug is at the base code, then you have to change everything on top of it, and that's just not realistic. Content, though, the content is decent. I mean, people have always wanted permanent NX rares, and some of them I won't agree with. Like, if they released the AT-22 for perm, I would not be happy, just because the AT-22 is a ridiculous gun, and absolutely, I would say verging on overpowered, if not overpowered.
I never really cared for it that much.
But the like the SOP mod or the CQB camo, I mean, you already have guns like the M416 or the guns like the G36, which you can get for GP, and you have the Tango 51 for a sniper, the fucking amazing sniper. The only difference from an NX rare is that it looks pretty and that it may perform just a eensy-beensy little bit better than another gun, but it's still like a 4-hit kill. And
that's what I was thinking. Same thing with me. I figure you're looking at, I'd say, 5 different classes of weapons. You have GP, and then their GP rare variants. I would kind of group those together, to be honest. They are all fine guns that can kill, that have just as much killing capacity as other weapons. Then you have your NX, and your NX weapons are just a tiny scratch up from those, not even a whole lot. Now, in some instances, like the Arctic Wolf versus the regular L9, there's a good bit of increase there because you get the silencer and the smaller recoil due to the S1 suppressor. But not a lot of NX weapons have enough of an increase to make it worth it. And then there's the NX rares, which in my opinion are actually among the best in the game. In some cases, they're better than epics. And then just past that are epics. And I would really say epics, for the most part, aren't worth going for because no one really... They're not as useful for competitive gameplay as some other weapons because they're not unique. A lot of epic weapons are just hashed up versions of weapons that exist. They're not unique. The whole point of certain weapons is to make them unique. The TRG SE is unique, so is the MSR. In some instances, they have particular uses, and some of those particular uses are being good for everything.
Yes, and I would agree, but I'd also argue that things like the MSR or the TRG SE, I mean, when you get down to it, they're not better. I mean, they really aren't. If you go, well, it has a 10-round mag, then okay, sure, it has a 10-round mag, the TRG SE. That in one aspect is better, but if you put it side by side with the Tango 51, okay, you won't tank as much, but the Tango is still an incredibly solid gun, and that's not going for the TPG-1 or the M99 or yeah, the M99 is the Chinese one that's like fully auto or something.
It's Chinese?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was British. My bad.
Oh, is the M99 the big shot? I'm going off of the one that's like the 5-round mag and everyone used forever because it was a full auto 1-hit kill.
Yeah. Okay, my bad. I don't know a lot about that weapon. So.
No, it's fine. I found it really annoying, but that's because it's good.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people that... It's actually a very underused gun, if you think about it.
Yeah, but...
And the thing is, a lot of people will say, oh, if I use NX, I get better, but these GP weapons are just as good, if not better, in some instances.
Yeah, I would agree that the only thing that that differentiates NX from GP is readily available. And so people don't place a lot of value on GP because you can get it for free. It's the NX. And the NX also has something which is variety. They have more guns. They have the guns that you could have. And therefore, even if they're a little bit better, it's the elitism. The elitism makes you think that it's better. and that's why people complain that NX is overpowered. And I'll agree in some instances, the Orthus or, you know, Recon, where it's obviously better, where there's an obvious, you know, discrepancy in skill versus point and click, or skill versus, you know, being able to run the speed of light. That doesn't happen normally. I mean,
That's true.
it's just not there. It's all it is variety and a promise that something is better, not that something is.
What I would also say is what I have had love-hate relationships with Nexon is that if you guys have been watching my reviews, and I don't mean to advertise this, but this is my best example, I talk about new age SMGs, which is more or less everything T2 to the current day. The thing is, except for a select few like the M249 Para, the vast majority of them, the Magpul, the Barapi, the Famai, they are all so similar. There's almost, especially with the Barapi and Magpul, there is so little difference. All of them may as well be the same weapon, except for a select few like the Para. But what I would like to see Nexon do, and which they have been sort of doing, is releasing unique weapons. The thing is, they've already covered all the grounds for base weapons by a long shot. They covered that 2 years ago. What they should do is release weapons that are unique for one specific task. Like the G11, I have mixed relationships with, if you guys have seen the review I put on that. It has the unique 50 of 50 magazine for an assault rifle, but it's also balanced because it has 20 less shots than the average assault rifle as well. And the type of recoil and stuff, it's unique in its own way, but it's balanced also, which is good. But then they also release weapons like the KNT and JNG, which are practically the same weapon, except the JNG has 5 more shots per magazine.
And it does tank a lot more now.
It does? Okay, I haven't been using it a whole lot, but and the KNT is slightly unique because it can still kill tanker vesters in one shot. I actually tested that 2 days ago. I know that's still true.
It's very nice, but they reduced the accuracy a lot. The only issue that I'd say I have with Nexon is stop putting a gun up for, you know, amazingness and then nerf it. I mean, just give me the gun you want straight out. Don't try and buff it and then nerf it. It makes me sad.
Especially, I would, even with guns, I mean, like the Tango, it says it doesn't have 100 damage, but 7 times out of 10, it's a one-shot kill. Just random fraction out of my head, but it's about true if you think about it. 7 times out of 10, it's a one-shot kill. It doesn't tank a whole ton, and I wish they would just put the stats at 100. I mean, that's what it is for the most part. The TPG-1 tanks plenty, and it's got 100 damage. It tanks more than the Tango in some instances.
Meh, I don't use GP. That's why, you know, how to NX, not how to
I was actually
GP.
more talking pro than the GP one, my bad. But I think that about wraps it up. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Not necessarily, no.
Well, that's kind of pushing the limits for our time, so
Yeah,
thank you guys for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, I don't. Just, if you like the video, I'm happy you do.
Awesome. Shadolance out.
Bye!